Dear Abby. It's our Dear Abby episode, and I picked one that's hot off the press, guys. It is from today. Today. It's a weird one. It's a weird one. And I feel like you and I are going to be torn on this one, which is why we're talking about it.
Let's do it.
Okay. Dear Abby, I discovered last year that my wife was exchanging flirty texts with a local man and had been doing it for years. I found out when I uncovered an image of an adult toy in her phone's deleted images. At the time, I nearly divorced her, but although our marriage went through a tumultuous period, we are still together. She told me then she'd stopped communicating with this man, but a few months ago, she reached out to him for help with a social media account issue she had, and now they chat daily on social media. Although it seems platonic now, it bothers me and has been a source of contention in our marriage. She says she has problems finding female friends, and he understands her medical issues, and he's her friend, and they are back to messaging regularly. I can see what's being said, but it still gets me upset. Am I an ogre for asking her to stop? She says that she has changed her mind and will continue to contact him. I feel like our marriage may be on rocky ground again, but she thinks I'm being awful for saying anything. What are your thoughts? He's in Alabama, guys. I'll say that.
But because that makes a difference?
Not New York.
I have a feeling I know what Meera's getting at, so we're just going to skirt by that and talk about it. Okay, here's the thing.
Why did she change her mind?
She obviously likes the attention.
Yeah, but it's a platonic friend.
No, she's getting something else out of it.
What?
Women, I shouldn't say women. People cheat because something is missing.
Remember, at the beginning of the story, he said she deleted an image of a sex toy. We don't know if it's closely related to this guy or not. This guy, women get sex toys. It's probably not even related, but bothered him. So he's clearly feeling insecure that he's not fulfilling some need. And then her friend, this guy, so she could be friends. She has to have some kind of attraction or something where she's willing to make her marriage be rocky because of this guy. But also, conversely speaking, if somebody told me I couldn't see somebody because they're uncomfortable with it and I need to stop connection completely, I would get pissed off that they're insecure and I have to now change my actions because they're insecure and I've given them nothing to be insecure about. So it's a tough one. I think it's weird that she started contacting him again after she said she wouldn't. And then I was like, no, it's just going to keep happening. It's weird.
Listen, something's missing.
He's a local man? Something's missing in this story. There's something missing in this story.
We're missing quite a bit. Anyways, regardless, this guy is feeding something that is missing in her marriage.
She said she has medical problems, and I think he said that she has a hard time finding female friends, and he understands her medical issues. So she obviously found something in him where she feels like understood. I don't know if there's an attraction or anything. It's your wife. If she said they're just friends, why can't you believe it? Why don't you trust her? Because she looked up a sex toy one time?
Hold on. If it's making him uncomfortable, why doesn't she just give up her friend?
But she did. She did give him up.
But now she's back.
So she started talking to him again because to help with a social media account issue she had. Why would she reach out to him about a social media account issue? Anyway, sounds like an excuse. Listen, you're right. She's probably looking for something. I don't think I would really put my marriage in danger for something I don't care about. I would have to care about it enough to do that. There's a lot missing in this relationship that we're not finding out about. But I will say the women are allowed to have male friends. I have a lot of male friends. Luckily, my husband is not insecure about it, but this sounds like an insecure person though. So they have a lot of years of issues, clearly.
Right. Those issues don't come up randomly.
What if he's controlling and that's the source of the issue? And she's like, you're not going to control who my friends are because I don't have any friends.
Like I said, they don't come up randomly. So
no, exactly.
Either something happened before the marriage and now he's this way. I will say my ex-husband was extremely jealous all the time. And something had happened in his previous marriage. And it's not my story to tell, but something had happened in his previous marriage to make him like this, and previous relationships to make him like this. So again, though, if she really wants her marriage to work, I think a piece of her needs to understand that this is not comfortable for her husband, and maybe she gives him up. The other thing too is that he needs to work on himself and understand why he's so jealous.
So what you're saying is just seek marriage counseling because something's clearly wrong.
Sure. And again, though, sometimes marriage counseling doesn't work. I did marriage counseling.
It
Look where I
doesn't.
am.
It doesn't work sometimes, but at the same time, it's worth an effort, worth a shot.
Yeah. It's worth a shot. I'm going to say this is when we went to marriage counseling, our marriage counselor said these exact words to us when we started was, people come to me for two reasons. One, you both want to work at it and you're both going to work at it, or somebody wants out and we're going to figure out very quickly as to who that is. And I was like, ooh, me, I'm the second, me. How do we do this?
Wow. So why'd you even agree to it?
I shouldn't say initially. I shouldn't say that. I initially wanted to work at it, and then after the first session, I was done working at it because he had manipulated the conversation so that I would have to divulge my childhood trauma to someone I only knew for 30 minutes, and I was like, I'm done now. Done. I don't want it to deal with this marriage anymore. So again, I'm sure it works for some people. It just didn't work for me.
All right, let's take another turn.
Okay.
Let's do another one. Grandparents prepare final gift for thankless grandkids. Dear Abby, for years we have given generous gifts to our 6 out-of-town grandchildren and received almost no thanks or acknowledgement. It hurts my feelings because I devote a lot of thought, in addition to money, to choosing something special for each of them. Obviously, they don't care. But when we have just sent checks, not knowing what they read, where, or want, our checks are always cashed. It's the same with gift cards. This year, we will send gifts to their parents, our own children, period. The grandchildren will receive your letters booklet, including the section on writing thank you notes. Please send me 6 before the end of November. Ooh, child.
These grandkids, does it say?
No, it didn't. But here's the thing. I wonder how old they are because it makes a difference. I hate to say this. I would blame the parents. Let me tell you why. And that's your kids, honey.
You don't even need to tell me why. I'm with you.
My kid is 3 years old and he gets gifts from out-of-town relatives. A lot of out-of-town relatives. My aunt will come by and she'll bring him everything from like a blanket to things for his room, to clothing, to like a bunch of stuff. And I always say, if you're bringing gifts and somebody else is bringing gifts, let's not do it when he sees you because he's so excited. Let's wait like an hour or two, whatever. And then you have your time to give it to him. Don't just put everybody's gifts at once. We do it at Christmas. It takes forever. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, here's one gift. This is from so-and-so. From a person who really didn't have a lot growing up, I'm very specific about when people give you gifts, it's not about the stuff. It's about that this person thought about you. Mm-hmm. To this day, this 3-year-old child will put on a shirt and say, my Auntie Rhea got this for me. Oh. My Auntie Joyce got this for me. He does it normally. I didn't train him to do that. But I'm just like, yeah. And sometimes I find myself saying it if he doesn't say it. Oh, mm-hmm. Grandma got this for you. Because I want him to know he doesn't see his grandma all the time from the other side. But she sent him these books and these books matter. These are influencing his childhood. Mm-hmm. And I want him to associate those books with his grandmother or this outfit with this other grandmother. I think I am raising someone that's grateful for these things. I would like to think when he's older, he would be appreciative. When he gets things now, I'm like, get on the phone and FaceTime your grandmother. Let's call this person and thank them for the gift. I force it. Yeah. Because don't be an ungrateful brat because you will get nothing and I will take it away from you because people are spending their hard-earned money. Now, this ticked off grandma, honey, blame your own kids. Blame your own kid. So you're going to send it to your kids and now you're trying to test them. They're probably older because she's saying it's receive a letters booklet where they have to write. It must be something that is sold online.
So like 9-10-year-olds and older. Maybe
send me 6 before the end of November. She's literally tasking them with something for them to do. Otherwise, they're not getting Christmas gifts. Okay, let's see what Dear Abby says.
It sounds like you need to talk to Mama. Go ahead.
Let's see what are your thoughts first before I say what Dear Abby said?
No, I'm with you. You raised your children to be grateful. Your children should raise their children to be grateful. I tell this to my kids all the time. I'm like, if you knew how hard it is for you guys to get what you get, I think the best thing I ever did for my children was I took them back to Thailand over Christmas one year. So they didn't get gifts at all. They literally, their gift was going back to Thailand. And I remember my daughter, I had packed a Barbie for my little niece because she had asked me for one. And I brought it back, and I remember my daughter looking at me being like, "But Mom, it's just a Barbie." I was like, "Yeah, of course, to you, because you have thousands of them at home. It means nothing to you."
Yeah.
To her, the little girl refused to take it out of the box. She was so excited. And I was like, "Girl, open it. If you want another one, I'll send you another one later." But I think that was the first time in my life, or my kids' lives, I should say, where they really understood how much they had and taken for granted. And not that they were ungrateful before, they had always said their please and thank yous, but now when they say it, it's extremely meaningful. They are over appreciative about it because they understand that it's 10 times harder to just survive and get the things that you get. Like my kids grew up, like just like your son, my kids grew up with a little bit more privilege than I had.
Yeah. I tell my sisters this all the time, and even my husband, we had a discussion about this recently. I said, when he's old enough to understand, so I'm thinking like 8, 9 years old, we're going to be volunteering at places that are not the best places so he can see how fortunate he is.
Yeah.
And I want him to want to give back. If I had tons of money, I would be doing philanthropy left and right. Like I donate now as much as I can to different things every year, but obviously it's not enough. And giving your time to something matters. Like being in the community. There's so many communities around us that can use your help, and not just around Thanksgiving doing a soup kitchen, like at other times. So I want him to be aware of that. And I think I became a little aware of that because obviously the way I grew up, but I also volunteered at a nursing home. So I respect my elderlies. I respect their stories and their experience. And I see a lot of young people don't. But you have to gain an appreciation for those things. And the only way to do so is to be around what you don't have and to respect it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that is really sad. But I guess Dear Abby probably has something that they buy and she wants them to write letters. But at this point, wouldn't a text have been perfectly sufficient, or a video call or something? Let's see what she says. The issue of race is one I hear about often from other TikTok readers each year. I'm sorry you didn't mention how old your grandchildren are, because the fault may lie with their parents, who should have taught their children the social skill from the time they were old enough to hold a writing implement. Some people procrastinate because they don't know how to express their feelings via the written word and fear they will say the wrong thing. They mistakenly think a thank you note must be long and flowery, when in fact, short and to the point is more effective. And she goes on, blah, blah, blah. This is why this is written. It can be ordered here. Oh. Yeah. Anyways, that's what I got today, guys.
Abby. She's totally on our side. Great episode. Good job, Meera.
Yeah. You know what? I like bringing this stuff.
Times, but all good.
I know it's a little weird, but this is the stuff that's going on in our world here, guys. So we're happy to talk about them. So make sure you follow us at Woke and Pretty Podcast, and obviously share this episode with a friend. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, and obviously on our podcast, wherever you're listening to, and rate us 5 stars. That helps us out a lot here. And we definitely take the time to bring you the news. We take the time out to get this episode to you every single day, Monday to Friday. Do us a favor and show your appreciation. Don't be like this reader. Okay, don't be like her grandkids. Show us your appreciation by subscribing and sharing this episode. We'll talk to you next time. See you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Remember, you're the heartbeat of our podcast. Your support, your comments, and your enthusiasm keeps us fired up and ready to bring you more pop culture goodness each week. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a moment of action. We'd love to hear your thoughts, suggestions, and even your own pop culture discoveries.
Connect with us on social media at Woke and Pretty Podcast on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok.